What's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live. We're going to be making it kind of a short one, I think, today, though. They got Mother's Day going on and all that kind of stuff, so I don't want to drag it out for too long. I got Mother's Day stuff to get to, but we'll hang out with you awesome people for a little while, at least probably only a 30-minute version of Chaos Live, not the normal hour one, since it's Mother's Day. And you guys need to be probably talking to your moms and stuff, too, if you can, kind of a thing, because it's Mother's Day. But yeah. So we'll hang out, answer some of your guys' questions for a little bit of time, and then Mother's Day activities to kind of get to. So, all right. So we'll jump right into it. Let's get to some of the stuff in here. We got some of you awesome people. We got Connor was one of the first ones, as well as was it Dat Boy something YT. We got Dennis. We got John. We got Alhera. We got Jacob. We got Doug. Owen. Marcus, Pedro, all sorts of the YouTuber fan, all sorts of you guys. So awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. What's up, Goon Platoon? What do we got? Not gonna be in this live stream, but you're here right now. What's up, bros and sis? Love this channel. What did I do in the army? I was an 88 Mike. We got a super chat from Edward. Edward hitting it right up with a super chat. Thanks, Edward. Thanks for the donation. Going CG auxiliary or Marine officer school views. What do you mean? You're going CG auxiliary or Marine officer school views? I don't know anything about any of those things, man. Again, and you always ask me all these crazy questions that I have no idea about. I was active duty Army. If you want to know stuff about active duty Army, I can help you out. Much beyond that, I'm very limited, man. I can't help you out with anything Marines, anything Navy, anything auxiliary, none of that stuff. I did not do any of that stuff. I did active duty Army. So I can't help you. I have no knowledge on any of that stuff beyond that. Your phone is on something more than it is more than 2 views. This is how it is when it first starts off. It first starts off usually with low views until YouTube catches up to saying how many views it actually is. Like mine's right now saying 37. That might vary based on what you're seeing, but who knows. What's up, T-Dog? How's it going? Yeah, Soviet Soldier, it's been a month since I watched these streams. Well, welcome back. Welcome here to hanging out. How to be an officer in the Navy? You got to join the Navy, and you probably got to go to college, and you probably got to go to Navy ROTC. But I don't know for sure because I was not in the Navy, so can't help too much on that. If you want to go Army officer, then you got to go to ROTC, go to college, get a bachelor's degree, all that kind of fun stuff. Hey Chris, what's up? What's your favorite rank? I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed being a sergeant. You know, it was fun having leadership responsibilities and being a leader and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed that. What made you decide to leave the Army? Change in lifestyle. Wanted to change to, do something different. Was tired of the Army way of things and wanted to be a civilian again. What's up, Alyssa? Happy Mother's Day to Jesse, and what's up, everyone? Well, I believe you're a mother too, right? I think I've seen stuff. Happy Mother's Day. Jay the Born, what's happening, man? I'm typing in my phone and you're on the TV. That works. Makes it easier. Is it a big screen TV? Is it huge? Or is it a small TV? Love the videos, man. Well, thanks, Marcus. Let's see. What is the advantage of joining as a specialist? Need to know because I'm joining as an E4. Not a whole lot. I mean, the only thing really advantage to coming in at a higher rank is you get to start off making better pay. You will still see a lot of people start to catch up with you because you still have to, just because you come in at a higher rank doesn't necessarily mean you can quickly move to the next rank faster than everybody else, right? Just because you started off there. You still have to meet one of the 2 requirements, either the time and service requirement or the time and grade requirement. You have to at least meet one of those. And then the other one, if you're a good enough soldier, you might get a waiver for the other ones. Otherwise, if you're just kind of a minimum standard soldier and just trying to do, just doing your job kind of a thing and not trying to excel, then you might have to wait for both time and service and time and grade before you can move up to the next rank. So just be aware of that. Just because you come in at a higher rank doesn't necessarily mean you get to be promoted faster, but you will get to start out making more money than everybody else. Where everybody else has started that pay grade of an E1, you get to start off at that pay grade of an E4. So just kind of be aware of that. What happens if your parents can't come to graduation day? Usually they'll still let you take off and go do stuff. That's what was my situation. Like none of my family came to see me in Fort Benning when I graduated from basic training. So me and a few other people who were in the same kind of boat, we took off, went to the mall, went and saw a movie, ate junk food and all that kind of fun stuff. We had to stay in our Class A's though, and we enjoyed our day just hanging out with each other and having a good time, being free after, you know, all those weeks of being in lockdown for basic training. So you'll still get to do some stuff, and you have a certain amount of time to get, you know, back into it and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. What else? Good UFC last night. Thug Rose got power slammed on her head. Anderson Silva got his ass kicked, and Betchkaya crapped out. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I was pretty bummed about, you know, Rose Namajunas. I mean, I feel like she was dominating the hell out of the fight, and then, you know, she got caught up with one good slam that, you know, was a bummer. The thing I hated was that she got actually a performance of the night for that one move. Sure, granted, it did win her the championship and everything, but it's kind of weird to, you know, be dominated for that long and then one good move that, you know, won you the fight. That's performance of the night? I don't know. But yeah, it was still some good fights last night. Having trouble to decide Marine infantry or Army infantry. Don't want to hate my life. So the difficult part is, like, if you want Army infantry, you probably have a chance of selecting that, whereas there's a certain criteria to be able to select actually Marine infantry. Otherwise, they're going to pick you. They're going to pick your job for you in the Marines. There are, if you, I think, score high enough, they'll let you pick the job field you want to go into. It still doesn't guarantee, like, say you want to be like the same as 11 Bravo in the Army. Their equivalent in the Marines, they can put you in the infantry area, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be like the same equivalent kind of a thing. So that's kind of the big thing. You have to kind of maybe talk to a Marine recruiter and compare it with what maybe you're getting from an Army recruiter and talk to both sides about it to find out all the full facts and everything. But typically, from what I understand, you know, Army is going to allow you, if you're qualified for it, to pick actually 11 Bravo and do that stuff, where Marines might only just put you in that infantry section if you qualify. Can you switch from National Guard to active duty? You can. It's a little bit of a pain from what I understand, because I've known some people that have done that, because you have to try to get released from your National Guard unit to go active. So sometimes that can be a pain, especially like if your position in the National Guard is high in demand and they're under strength and all that stuff like that. They might really need you, and they'll really want to kind of hang on to you. And so that kind of makes it kind of tough for some people to leave the National Guard to go active duty. So it kind of just depends. It's a lot easier to go from active duty to go reserve or National Guard than it is the other way around. Not impossible, but there's some circumstances that can make it a little bit, you know, difficult to be able to pull off. Hello, first time watching. Well, thanks. Was it Greasy Monster? Thanks for coming to check out Chaos Live. I appreciate it. Chris, did you ever serve in the same unit as instructors that trained you at 88 Mike AIT? I did not. I don't even think I remember like who my instructors were back then. So if I would have ran into them, I probably wouldn't have recognized them or any of that kind of stuff. So it would have been kind of tough. Do infantry officers typically have a higher chance of going to Ranger School? Usually they want infantry officers to go to Ranger School. You can get really ragged on. Like if you're an officer in the infantry, and you have not been to Ranger School, they tend to rag on those guys pretty hard. So most commonly, officers that are in the infantry section will definitely try to go Ranger. If not, they get a lot of crap for it. So that's not required or anything like that, but they will get a lot of crap for it. You hear about the pinks and greens? I haven't heard anything new about it. There's supposed to be a slow transition into it, but they were saying before last time I heard about it, which was several months back, they were saying it's probably not going to be available in clothing and sales, which is where you would get like these uniforms on base until like later in like 2025, 2027, something. I forget what it was. It was something like, it was a ways away, like 8, 9, 10 years away from now before it'll even be available. But I think starting next year, they'll start allowing it and starting to have certain circumstances where people will be wearing them, I believe. Why did I leave the Army? Did you ever want to do your 20 years? I did not. I was always, it was always supposed to be just a temporary thing, as a milestone, a stepping stone towards another career, to get the experience in the military and move on from there, and then you know, just go to college or do something like that. So that was always the intention, but it was never the intention to go and stay in for 20 years. So I just got kind of tired of the Army life. I only wanted, like I said, wanted to stay in temporarily and then get out. But what was supposed to be temporary ended up being a little over 10 years. So that's how it ended up going. After AIT, do you go home to wait for your duty station, or what do you do? No, you'll get like usually somewhere is usually your midpoint or towards the end of AIT, you'll get your orders to find out what your first duty station is going to be and your reporting date. You'll usually have an option to either take some vacation days to go home before going to your first duty station. So you graduate AIT, go home for like a week or two. If you have the option to do hometown recruiting, that can extend that a little bit more, and you just basically spend some time with your recruiters trying to recruit people to join the Army for some free leave, basically, and then report. So you either get that option, or you can choose to just go straight to your unit and then try to take leave later, maybe to get your personal goods or your car or whatever you have back home or in a storage unit or whatever, and have that stuff shipped over. So you usually get those two options. But during AIT, either the midpoint or towards the end of AIT, you'll already know what your first duty assignment is going to be, and you just have to make a decision if you want to report immediately after AIT, or if you want to use up some vacation time and then report to your first duty station. Been out since the 80s, been listening to you for a long time now, like I want to hear. Well, thanks for hanging out. What do you think about the Canadian Army? I don't really know anything about it, so I don't really know. I don't really have a good opinion about the Canadian Army, I guess. Warrant officer or commission officer, which is better route? I don't really want a degree, but I might tough it out. So the only way you can come straight in as a warrant officer if you go flight. So if you're going to be a pilot for like helicopters, then you come in straight as a warrant officer. Otherwise, if you want to become a warrant officer, you have to start off as enlisted, and then there's a certain criteria, usually your E5, E6, it just depends sometimes on the career field, to then try to put in for a warrant officer to go warrant officer. But otherwise, you can't just come in the Army as a warrant officer unless you're going pilot. I think there might be one other MOS you can do that with, but like I said, it's very few. And then officer, obviously, you can do that, but you have to get a college degree, you have to get a bachelor's degree. So that just kind of depends on what you want to do, right? So if you want to start off as enlisted and then go warrant officer, then maybe you get a lot of experience. But if you want to start off as more of a leadership role, then it's usually better to go officer if you're looking for more of a leadership type of position. Shipping out to Leonardwood July 16th. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully everything works out well. My friend stutters can join the Army. Yeah, probably. I mean, it just depends on how bad the stutter is. I've known some people that had still like lisps, and that's kind of hard to say. But I've known like a guy who had a little bit of a stutter. It wasn't too bad. It was only sometimes if he got like nervous or angry or something. Otherwise, if he was just normal, he didn't really have a stuttering problem. So it just really depends. If it's a really bad one, then it might. I don't know for sure though. What 3 martial arts, if given the choice, would you want to learn in the Army? I don't know. I already did jiu-jitsu, that was fun. I did Gracie jiu-jitsu. So, Kingsman Sean, what's happening, man? How's it going? What do we got? I'm shipping out to Fort Sill October 8th. Female. Anyone gonna be there with me? I don't know. Anybody gonna be there in Fort Sill on the 8th? Good luck to you. October 8th. You've got a long time. Still a ways to go before you ship out, but good luck to you. How long is basic training? 10 weeks. 10 long weeks. How does hometown recruiting program work? You sometimes will get the options to do so when you're in AIT. They'll ask if anybody wants to do hometown recruiting, and then you put in a packet, fill that out. They send that stuff to your recruiter to let them know that, hey, you're going to be in town, and you're supposed to make contact with your recruiter usually too once you go back home for vacation. And your recruiter will kind of give you more information from there, but typically it'll be something like where you have to maybe report to the recruiting station daily, every other day. It just kind of may depend on your recruiter station. I've known some people that had to do it like every day. They were doing PT every day with their recruiters and then working basically from 9 to 4:35 or whatever with the recruiters or whatever, trying to help them do things and doing all that stuff. And then I've known some people that had it pretty chill where they only did a couple days here and there. Me, I got it really lucky because my recruiter station was not in my hometown. So they were like, yeah, just try to work on trying to get us some names and some information for some people to call them up and try to arrange appointments for us to meet up with them. And so I basically just got like 2 weeks of free vacation while I think it was a week or two of free vacation while I was doing hometown recruiting. And then there was one day they came to my high school, and so they called me up and had me get into my dress uniform to go with them to my high school, while they talked to the band about how they can potentially join the military and be in the Army band. But it was really easy. So it may vary based on your recruiters as to how in-depth you'll have to get with it. Does the Army still use the old geeky L-shaped flashlights with the red lenses? I think so. I think they encourage a little bit more of headlamps. They usually have headlamps with like red lenses on them, but I believe that's still something they issued, is those the L-shaped little flashlights with all the different lenses you can swap out. I think they still get those. His stutter is only on the S's. Yeah, probably be okay. But you always have to check with the recruiter for sure. But I wouldn't see that being too bad of a problem. Probably be okay. Can you fail basic? You could. You could. I mean, if you can't meet the PT standards, you can't meet other standards. It's possible. In my experience, I haven't seen a lot of people do that, but that's not to say that it doesn't happen. I think there was only a couple of people in my basic training that failed out of it. Sometimes it's what they'll usually do is they'll do what's called a holdover, and they'll go and they'll basically just move you back. So like if you failed a specific part, then you'll have to basically repeat that part with another class and then try to go through basic from them. So that'll make it to where you're there a lot longer than everybody else, and it's kind of a pain. But yeah, I mean, usually you get multiple options and stuff to be able, or multiple attempts to try to pass basic training. Chris, do you have a chart of how much soldiers need to weigh for their height? Yes, I don't have a chart, but it's something you definitely look up. You look up the height and weight standards is what it's called. If you just look up Army 2019 height weight standards, there's a chart that'll say based on male and female, your age and everything like that, what your height is based on what your weight should be, and then all that kind of stuff. And if your weight is over that weight for your height and your age, then you have to be taped, and then you have to measure around your neck, around your chest, and around your waist. And then if you can meet those weight standards, then you're good. But because there are some people that weigh more than that because they're really muscular, right? So then they have to tape them, and then if they, make tape, then they're still good. So, any recommendations on how to lose 9% body fat? Cardio. Cardio is always one of the better ways of trying to burn fat. Is just doing a lot of cardio. So, how to become a drill sergeant? At some point in time, I'll do a video on it, but typically around E5, E6, you can possibly come up on orders for either recruiter or drill sergeant, and you're pretty much stuck with it. You can volunteer for it too, but usually, like I said, it's around E5 or E6 time frame. But you can also possibly come up on orders for it around that time frame, and then you have to go to the school to either go drill sergeant or go recruiter, and then you're stuck being in that position for X amount of years, however long, and stuff. But at some point in time, I'll probably do a video on the explanation of how that process works for going drill sergeant or being a recruiter, because they're kind of very similar in some ways. Do you need to be sergeant to qualify for 18 X-ray as a civilian? As a civilian? You're talking about like coming straight into the Army? No. So like the only rank requirement, I've talked about this, I have a Special Forces video that talks about some of the requirements and some of the training and everything. You have to E3. So that either can be done by having a little bit of college education, spending a little bit of time in the Army first before going Special Forces. Otherwise, you have to either have a little bit of college before you're coming in, or there's other options you can do that your recruiters will probably have you do, like these little classes or little different things that will basically allow you to come in the Army as an E3. And if you do those, then you can kind of go through it. So that's an option too. But private first class E3 is what you usually have to be before you can go 18 X-ray. So son is at Fort Leonard Wood in while phase shot sharpshooter. Will that go towards his question? His qualification? Yeah. So you have to qualify when you're in basic training. If you're in AIT long enough, sometimes they'll have you requalify again in AIT. Otherwise, they'll wait until your next duty station. But whatever you qualify in basic training is what you're wearing on your uniform. And then when you go to your unit, at some point in time, they will have a qualification range and everything like that. And then you'll end up updating your badge if you scored higher or if you scored lower. Because if you scored lower, then you have to switch it out and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah. I want to go in as an MP, then transition to a 35 Lima. How would that work? So a lot of people think that you can just easily switch jobs, and it's not that easy to really be able to do so. So it's better just to try to get into the job you want to do originally. Is what you would have to do is if you say like you did a contract for 4 years as an MP. Well, you're not going to be able to switch to another MOS until after you've already done about 3 years in that job, and then you can try to re-enlist in the Army to stay in the Army longer to switch to another MOS. But if that MOS is not taking you, if you don't have high enough scores for that, there's a lot of other factors that have to kind of play into that. So you have to qualify for that MOS. They have to be taking people from another MOS. Your rank will matter, but if this is like your first time re-enlisting, it won't really matter too much. That's usually when you get a little bit farther in your Army career that you can be at a cutoff point where you can no longer re-enlist to switch MOSs. So it's better just to start off with the MOS you want to be in, and then doing it that way. If there's something you'd rather do, start off doing that. So that's always usually the better way to go. MOS Monday on Drill Sergeant. It's not really an MOS though. It's just a additional task. Hey, I finally made it. What's up, Southern Sun? This is only a short one though. We only got about 10 more minutes because it's Mother's Day and there's Mother's Day activities to be done, and you guys need to go call your moms and spend time with them if you can and all that kind of fun stuff. So it'll be a shorter version today. We only got about 10 more minutes. All right. What is the best division to join? I have no idea. It's going to vary. It'll vary from here and there and all that kind of fun stuff. So, got Kingsman Sean with a $1 donation. Well, thanks you, man. Appreciate the donation. You rock. You didn't leave a question, though. You're supposed to leave a question, and you get your question, like, immediately shot to the front. But I appreciate the donation. That's awesome. What is the like goal? We didn't really put one because it's a short one. There's 52 of you guys. I mean, we should be able to get like 50 likes. I mean, we'll try for 50 likes. That'd be nice. 50 likes. I mean, there's more than 50 of you watching right now, and 22 of those people have already liked the stream. Some of those people might have already left. So let's try for 50. But like I said, we only have about a little less than 10 more minutes because this is a short episode. So 5,000 like goal, that'd be tough. That'd be tough. Can you do the video on 42 Romeos? Already a 42 Romeo, but there aren't really any videos that talk about the process of becoming an Army musician. At some point in time, but usually those kind of things, you have tryouts and all that kind of fun stuff for it. But yeah, right now it goes mostly off of like what the most request is, highest requests for an MOS. And then I look to those comment sections, and whichever ones are either I see a lot of people commenting saying they want this MOS, or I see someone comment requesting an MOS and a lot of people have given it a thumbs up, then those ones are the ones I do the next one. So that's the key thing to remember, is if you have an MOS you're interested in and you see that there's already someone who's commented that, make sure to hit the thumbs up on that person's comment. You can also additionally leave your comment of the same MOS if you want, but also give that person a thumbs up, because those are the ones I look for. I look for whatever ones have the most thumbs up to decide which MOS to do in the next episode of MOS Monday. So the first rank is based on your 6 to 8 months basic training. You don't do 6 to 8 months basic training. It's like 8-10 weeks. I don't know. I don't know if you're responding to something else. I don't know. You're my hero, Chris. Well, thanks. Was Anakin Skywalker? I'm sure that's not your real name, but thank you. Show everyone your second camera angle. Oh, you're not going to like that camera angle. I don't even think it's on. Is it plugged in? No, that one's not plugged in. It wouldn't work. I didn't have that one set up for this one, where I have that other camera angle off to the side over this way. I don't see the light on it, so on that camera. I got to figure out a better way to do something with that. I want to have it to where it's like more versatile and kind of switching camera angles and maybe doing some fancy stuff here and there. But I don't know. I don't know how to make it other than just front view, side view, front view, side view. That's not that exciting. I need a better purpose for that second camera. What's PT like after basic? I think don't I have a video? I'm pretty sure I have a video that kind of talks about the basic rundown of PT. But you'll do that. Check that video out. That'd be a good one to look for. After this live stream, go look for my video on, like, I don't know what it's called. Probably just do a search. If you go to my channel and do a search for like physical fitness or PT or something like that, you probably find it. So, can E1 pin E2 on themselves, or must they wait until they get orders and get pinned by the commander? Yeah, you gotta wait until you have your orders. A lot of people will screw that up, and they'll go and they'll go and just see that they're on their LES, which is like their pay stub in the Army, that they've already been promoted because they've met that time and grade and time and rank and all that stuff like that. And they'll just go ahead and just start wearing that rank and be like, hey, my LES says that I'm this rank or whatever. No, you gotta wait for your orders. Usually around the beginning of the month, we'll do promotion ceremonies to promote those people. But if your LES is showing it and it's already been past the first of the month, then you usually want to let your leadership know, hey, my LES says I'm this rank, and they can put out the word to check with the commander, see if the orders came in, so they can get it, pinned on you and stuff. So you just gotta kind of watch for that. But yeah, never pin it on yourself. That's always something that needs to be done during a promotion ceremony, unless someone like in your leadership specifically says, hey, we don't have time for promotion ceremonies this week, just go ahead and throw it on. You'll be fine. Then that's different. But for the most part, usually don't do it yourself. What was this one? Been building a $120 bug out bag. All right, just in case, huh? Why does the Army have so many basic training soldiers or stations? Because there's a lot of soldiers joining, so you can't do it. If you did it all in one, it would be really packed. So you have to split it up between different ones. And there's not really a lot. There's only 5, I think it is. There's not really a lot of basic training stations. You only have a certain ones. You have Benning, Leonard Wood, Jackson, Sill, and then maybe like 1 or 2 more. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's not really that many because there used to be more actually, and then some of them shut down. But yeah, there's not really that many. Happy Mother's Day to the soldiers that can't see their moms. I agree. What is the Army to cadence while they run? What does it do? It's kind of intended to take your mind off the run, help with your breathing, and all that kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit of morale as well, trying to build up your morale and be like, all amped and stuff like that. So that's part of it. But part of it's also just to keep in step, because there's a certain beat to that cadence to keep in step, to make sure your left foot's hitting the ground at the right time, so that people aren't tripping on each other, and then all that kind of fun stuff. So it just kind of depends on that kind of situation. But they're to keep you in step, to get you motivated, and help you work on your breathing, that kind of thing. For requested MOS videos, you should set up a Google form, and people can vote just like idea. I've done it before where I did it through YouTube's little voting, and I've done it that way, and sometimes that works, but for the most part I try to get you guys to want to comment on those ones, to leave them in the comment sections. But and that's been working out pretty well so far, so I just usually kind of do it that way, where I just kind of try to have everybody kind of vote based on the comment section. So super chat from Anthony. What are you not allowed to talk about after the Army? I don't think there's any restrictions on anything I can think of. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I'm pretty sure there's not. The only thing maybe is if it was some kind of like, OPSEC related, which is operational security, the normal stuff that you can't talk about while you're in the Army. So I don't think there's anything specific that I can think of after you're out of the Army. So, but yeah. I converted my friend to join with me, and I heard that if you get someone to join, you get a promotion to E2. Is that true? Yes, but you have to have done it through your recruiter. If you just talked your friend into it and they didn't mention you and coordinate that with your recruiter, then you're probably not going to get it. But if your friend, said that, hey, I have a friend who's joining the Army, he's the one who told me to talk to the Army, then you get credit through that way. But if they didn't do anything like that, then it might be a little tough. So you just have to kind of be aware of it that way. Only idea is to help them with the gun or at home. The rest is between the lines if you don't re-enlist. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're referencing on there. Fort Jackson is its own miniature state. I've never been to Fort Jackson, so I've never actually been there. So is your call sign Chaos 1-6 or just Chaos? I guess technically, it'd be Chaos 6. I guess, even though I wasn't an officer in the military, but I guess Chaos, since I guess we could consider it, I'm the commander of the Chaos Army, right? When you guys are the members of the Chaos Army, and I guess I'm the commander of the Chaos Army, whether it's a company or if it's a division or a brigade or whatever. I guess right now we're pretty small, so I don't know, 37,000? That's quite a bit. Like if you think of 37,000 people in a unit, that's probably like a division. So yeah, sure, we're an army. So I guess I'd be Chaos 6. I guess I'd be the commander of the Chaos Division. But yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, Chris, checking out early. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Literally would not be here if not for you. Well, yeah, literally, pretty much. We almost made it to that the whole goal. I was going to try to get to 50 in this short time. We're at 32 minutes, so we're going to do a couple more questions, then we have to cut it loose because we're cutting this one kind of short for Mother's Day. But be back to normal hour, and even probably next weekend when we do Chaos Live, I'll probably start implementing then the little incentive of maybe like if we reach our goal, the live stream maybe gets extended by 10, 20, 30 minutes or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. So we'll do a couple more questions, and then that'll be it. That'll be the end of this episode of Chaos Live. Let's see. Does the morning PT suck? Sometimes. It depends on what you did the night before. You had a hard night of partying, then it could be. Hey, Christopher, I'm considering joining the Army National Guard. I want to join before college and get my degree while I'm in. I'm considering becoming an officer, so I was wondering ROTC or you're talking about OCS? So if you don't already have the college, you can't become an officer. So if you're wanting to do college and the National Guard at the same time, you're going to have to start off as enlisted and then try to later become an officer. You're not going to be able to do so. You're not just going to be able to come in as an officer and then work on while you're in the National Guard, just automatically be an officer while you're still going to college. So just kind of be aware of that. You're going to have to start off as an enlisted soldier and then later try to become officer. And if that's the case, I don't think you'll be able to do ROTC if you're going to already be in the National Guard. I don't know. I think you'd have to do OCS later. So I don't know for sure. You'd have to talk to a recruiter about that. But to be an officer, you have to have a 4-year degree. So Christopher Chaos is the BC of the Chaos Army. Is the what? What are you talking about? Is the BC of so I'm the brigade commander. I don't know, but with 37,000 people, that might be a division commander. So I don't know. We'll do a couple more. How do I re-enlist and switch jobs before my contract ends? The last year of your enlistment contract, you'd have to talk to the retention NCO at the unit and talk to them about re-enlistment options and mention to that individual that you're interested in reclassing to another MOS. And based on your ASVAB scores from before you joined, if you qualify for the MOS you're looking for, then you can possibly do so. But otherwise, if you don't have the high enough scores, then you're gonna have to retake the ASVAB while you're in the military to try to up those scores and all that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. Let's see, one last question. Let's go backwards. We're gonna go backwards in the chat. See if I can find one that maybe I missed. And that'll be the final question of this live stream. Trying to find something. Here we go. We'll do this. Can you become an Army pilot with no pilot's license? No. When you go if you go warrant officer, you're going to flight school. So, I mean, you're not going to just become a pilot without a pilot's license. You're going to get your pilot's license by joining the Army to be a pilot. So that's how you'll end up doing it. And it's the military version. I don't know if it transfers directly over to the civilian pilot license. I don't know that part. But that's basically how you would become a pilot in the Army, is you don't have to start off having a pilot's license. You're going to go to the Army's flight school, and they're going to teach you how to fly helicopters and all that fun stuff. And then by the time you're done with all that training, then you're qualified to be able to fly the helicopters in the Army. So that's basically how it works. You don't have to go and try to get like a pilot's license before joining the Army and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's going to do it. If there's any mothers out there watching this by any chance, happy Mother's Day to you. But if there's people who have mothers out there that you can spend some time with, give a phone call if you didn't already, and all that kind of stuff, make sure you show some love to those moms and all that stuff, all that kind of cool, awesome things. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll be back next week and we'll do a full-on hour long Chaos Live and all that kind of fun stuff. And We got some videos lined up for you this week. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. You guys rock. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.